Good evening and welcome to Crossroads. Former President Donald Trump arrived in Atlanta, Georgia yesterday. He was booked on RICO charges along with 18 co-defendants, members of his election integrity team mainly, who tried investigating notably election interference. And now they're all being accused of running a conspiracy of election interference for trying to investigate election interference. And for trying to imprison him, Trump is now accusing Democrats of using the criminal investigations and the indictments as a form of election interference as well. Watch.
What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before.
Now, this marks the fourth time that Trump has been indicted, just in time for the 2024 elections. Yet, unlike in previous charges, this time Trump through the whole process of being booked. Authorities released his mugshot soon after, and that mugshot has now become a political symbol. Now, Trump made a surprise return to X, formerly known as Twitter, and in his first post since January of 2021, Donald Trump released his own mugshot. It had the date of his arrest and stated, "Election interference, never surrender." And also posted was a link to donaldjtrump.com where Trump posted a personal note, and he states this: "Today at the notoriously violent jail in Fulton County, Georgia, I was arrested despite having committed no crime." He adds that the American people know what's going on. He alleges that the charges against him are a travesty of justice and election interference. And he states the left wants to intimidate you out of voting for a political outsider who puts American people first. And notably as well, Trump issued a message on behalf of what he says represents his entire movement. He says this: "I will never surrender our mission to save America." And notably, he ends with a fundraising request for his 2024 presidential run. Now, Trump is using the mugshot to campaign with. The fears of the establishment have come true. Now, if you remember, this is what a lot of Democrats were arguing would happen. This is why they didn't want Trump to get a mugshot taken previously. It was allegedly the reason why they decided not to do it previously. They were worried it would help Trump's campaign. Now, I'll note as well that if this was not about interfering with his campaign, then why was that an issue? Regardless, the image has now come to represent something deeper. Memes of it, jokes, artistic revisions. They're already being plastered all over the internet. Trump supporters are making images of themselves, looking like they're the ones getting the mugshot. The message echoes this at the Trump campaign, same idea. It's the idea these attacks are really against the American people and Trump is just standing in the way. In other words, Trump has now become a martyr. The indictments have now turned him into a folk hero. He's the Robin Hood fighting against corrupt taxes, the Spartacus against the slave system, the symbol of those who've been wronged by abuse and by incompetence, and also a symbol of solidarity, that facial expression, that people are fed up. They see through the illusions and fake narratives propped up in front of them, and they're no longer going to take it. Trump is capitalizing now on this sentiment. Memes of the mugshot are already echoing his former controversial statement that for Americans who feel that they've been wronged and betrayed by a corrupt system, he is their retribution. Watch.
In 2016, I declared, "I am your voice." Today, I add, "I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution."
The timing of all this came amid a wave of attention on Trump's campaign, contrasted notably with those of his rivals for 2024. One day before all of this, the RNC held its Republican national debate. Fox maintained exclusive rights over the video and only allowed other networks to run a maximum of 3 minutes. It was very limited in terms of how it could spread. The debate also suggested public interest was falling, though. It had an estimated 12.8 million viewers, which was about half of the audience as last time when Republicans debated in August of 2015. Well, that's all for YouTube. For the rest of the episode, come join us on Epoch TV, epochtv.com. Link in the description. We'll be talking about a lot of things that YouTube will just plain old not let us talk about. If you're wondering why the country still does not fully understand what is happening, if they don't really understand the defense Trump has, the other narratives, how they've been lied to about J6, the elections, just about every other major thing happening, why we can't, for example, talk about what's really happening with COVID. Well, it's because YouTube and other big tech platforms censor everything outside the boundaries of what the, let's say, official narrative allows. If you want to get real news, if you want to find out what's actually happening in this country, if you want to listen to some real discussions, come join us on Epoch TV. We'll also have the rest of this episode. Again, we have 25-cent a week flash sale right now for 1 quarter. You can get escape censorship, have some free speech. We have some good stuff lined up still. We'll be talking about the symbolic impact of Trump's, well, his mugshot, what this means for the country as it relates to the phenomena we're seeing in music right now, with the anti-woke boycotts, with what appears to be a rising cultural shift. Something big is happening in America. We're going to have a very good discussion on this. Also, we have a Trump lawyer with us, going to be talking about what is actually happening, the realities of how solid these cases are against him. They're not very solid. We'll explain why. And also what we can expect with Trump's legal team as they challenge this. Really important discussions, which we can't typically, a lot of stuff we cannot show you on YouTube. So come join us on Epoch TV for that. Again, epochtv.com, link in the description. 25-cent a week flash sale right now. I'll see you there.
People from 160 countries illegally cross the U.S.-Mexico border and give themselves up to Border Patrol. But what about the ones who evade Border Patrol? These are known as the gotaways.
You can safely assume that anybody that went through the extra effort to avoid U.S. Border Patrol was not an asylum seeker by default.
It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but somewhere down the road, if somebody rapes and kills somebody, and we find out that they came through here on my watch, that's unacceptable.
These men had surrounded my house. They were banging on my back door. They were banging on my front door.
You can't understand it unless you're out here seeing it every day. 21 dead bodies on the property.
Code 3 response.
Is it wrong to ask people to come to your front door of your home? Then why would it be wrong to ask people to come to the front door of our nation?
Their primary goal is to circumvent the checkpoints, go undetected.
People that do not want to surrender, those are going to be the potential terrorists, the criminals, the real threat to the U.S.
We were hoping the federal government would step in and do something, but they didn't.
We have no clue who they are or where they're going. That's the scary part.